all you're gonna do is, and this bolt gets torqued. Fuck, hang on. God damn these fucking things. Okay, so like I said, 2003 Honda CRF450R. One of the first things I really want to do to it is drain all the engine oil out, replace the fluids, engine and transmission. Engine oil and the filters, of course, give you a good idea of what sort of shape this engine is in. So that's going to be first. And the owner's manual says to start the bike, let it run at idle for a minute or two, then kill the bike, pop the filter off, pop the drain plug out, which you can't see. I'll go over it in more detail as I go after it runs. And then with the kill switch on, you're gonna pump the kickstart a couple times to get all the rest of the oil out. I'll go over it a little more, obviously. But, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started and let it run for a minute. See if I can do this without actually kicking it. Okay, so the engine ran for a few minutes, it's warm. So now what I'm gonna do is take a 12mm wrench. Right here next to the shifter lever is the oil drain plug with a crush washer. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that out, let the oil drain, and then I'm gonna take this off with a 8mm impact, take the oil filter cover off, and then let all this drain. And then with the kill switch activated, I'm gonna pump the engine a couple times with a kickstart and get all the rest of the fluid to come out. So let's get to that. Okay, so the kill switch is engaged. Like I said, this one has that janky fucking wire, so I just twisted them together. And then I'm gonna kick the Kickstarter over a couple times and more oil should come out of here. Okay, so here's the new filter. I went ahead and put some new oil on this rubber surface here. I'm gonna pop it right back on to the cap. You're gonna take your spring. If you have trouble keeping this in place, you can put some grease on there to keep it in place. But then you're just gonna pop it right back where it goes. And I'm having trouble keeping it in place. Okay, long bolt goes on top. Short bolt goes on the bottom. Now you're gonna, because this is under tension, you're gonna have to hold this and then tighten them down. And the oil filter bolts get torqued to 7 foot-pounds. The oil filter change kit I got from Rocky Mountain ATV did come with 2 new crush washers, one for the engine oil drain plug and one for the transmission. So I went ahead and swapped those out. I'm gonna go ahead and put this bolt right back in. And the drain plug bolt gets torqued down to 12 foot-pounds. Okay, so this calls for 0.73 quarts of oil for both a filter and oil change. If you're not doing the filter and just draining the oil, it's 0.70 quarts. This is a 32-ounce bottle of Pro Honda 10W40. So roughly 3/4 of that is 24 ounces. So I'm probably gonna put about 23 ounces in here. So I'm gonna do it until it's just above the, I'm gonna fill it till it's just above the 8-ounce line on here. That would be right at 0.73 or close to 0.75. Transmission is going to be even easier. There's no filter, just a drain plug and a fill cap. So let me show you where the drain plug's at. So this one here was the oil drain plug, 12mm bolt. And this one right back here, same size, 12mm. Where my thumb's at? See it? No you don't. No you see it? No you don't. 12mm, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew that one, drain all the fluid out. And the same thing as the oil plug, this one has a crush washer. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that with this one that came with the oil kit, or oil change kit. Okay, all the fluid's done draining. Go ahead and clean up this hole. And then this has the new crush washer on it. And the transmission drain plug gets torqued to 16 foot-pounds. Alright, so fluids are drained. Now the easy part. Right here's your transmission fill point. Here's the cap. I took it out already to let the fluid come out. And this is gonna get 0.62 quarts. And now with some math, that is about 20 ounces of fluid. So just like I did with the engine oil, this being a 32 ounce container, I'm gonna fill it until it's right about at the 12 ounce marker on here. That'll mean 20 fluid ounces are gone, which would mean 20 ounces are in here. All right, that's right at the 12 ounce mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and cap that, save it for later. And that, my friends, is how easy that is. So one of the biggest issues I'm assuming is wrong with this bike is the carburetor. Hopefully just a good carb rebuild and, you know, cleaning everything out will help out a lot. To make that easier on me, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this whole subframe from here back. Should be pretty straightforward. There's this bolt here, and then the same one on the other side. And then there's the bolt right here. It's a 10 mil bolt. These are 12 mil bolts. And then that's really all holding that on. And of course, there's a couple other things you need to loosen up, like the air box connection to the front of the carburetor, the exhaust, the muffler, the plastics, and the exhaust pipe need to all be either loosened or taken off. Looking at these bolts, I'm assuming everything is a 12, 10, or 8 mil. That one might be a 9, but basically anywhere from 8 to 12 millimeter should get everything off. All right, let's do this. Okay, so everything is loosened up on here. And before I go ahead and pop this off, I need to loosen the clamp that is attaching the air box to the carburetor. It's a Phillips head clamp right here. Okay, and then there is a hose connector right here that I've already went ahead and popped off. So this is the last bolt up here that I need to take out. There we go, that easy. Now I have access to everything back here, including the carburetor, which is what I need. All right, progress well underway on the Honda. Subframe's off. Next video is going to be the carburetor removal and probably the carburetor rebuild. One thing I did not go over, which I really should have, was how the fluids actually looked. The oil looked fine. There was a little bit of, I guess, metallic flake in it, as well as in the oil filter. Now, I'm going to get into what caused that in a very upcoming video because it's quite the unorthodox reason for that. And luckily I found it in time. We'll get there. It's pretty fucking wild of what happened once I actually dug into this engine a little bit. So yeah. Progress well underway. Next video, carb removal and hopefully rebuild. I'm probably going to sprinkle in a little bit of riding footage from a trail ride I went on recently. Be on the lookout for that. Probably going to be totally separate. I'm trying to upload more than once a week now. So yeah, as always, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Hopefully some of you guys that stuck around for my dyno videos are still here. Maybe you'll get inspired to buy a dirt bike, who knows. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm still working on the dyno. I have a couple, as I mentioned previously, I'm planning a ride to the Tail of the Dragon in Tennessee, North Carolina. So I have a couple little things I need to do before then. Just a good once over, because like I said, it's a couple 100-mile ride there, and then we're gonna ride the Dragon, obviously, and then ride back. So I wanna make sure everything's in tip-top shape. So there may be a dyno video thrown in the mix here coming up very soon, as well as a complete journey to the Dragon, riding it and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Again, I'm trying to reach out to a new viewer base kind of with these dirt bike videos, kind of intermingling dirt bike and street bike. We'll see what happens. So yeah, new video next week, carb rebuild. It'll be a good one. I'm out. See you next week.